hey Roger, you need to get in the gym, you're getting fat.
It's
buddy.
pretty much an organized crime.
No, it literally is. That's why, hey, quit being a P.
You feel like this is stemming from you trying to instill masculine properties inside your son? Yeah, we're live.
Let's go, everybody. Welcome to the jungle.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
This can be our first episode.
Yeah, why not? My
First episode. I'm David. This is
Roger. What's going on, guys? You know, I guess you can call us guest hosts. I don't know. Host? Co-host?
co-host.
Let's say co-host.
We're hosting it. We're both hosting it. He's hosting it. I'm hosting it. We're both hosting it.
Welcome to the direct discussion.
Direct discussions. The jungle. Yeah. I didn't even think about that until right now too. That's funny. Well, this is gonna be a really good channel to bring on a lot of other people that are doing some things like starting their own businesses or trying to help people in insurance or whatever the case is. We're trying to help you guys, give you guys information, valuable information, some good content, some laughs, some bangers, some cries. Yeah, maybe not crying. But we're going to try to bring you guys all that kind of stuff here on this channel of direct discussions.
Most definitely. If anything, our main goal is to go ahead and interview people just like you, bring them on, have them talk about themselves as it relates to family, fitness, and finance. That way you as an audience can pull certain things from regular people just like yourselves and use that to influence parts of your life where you feel like you need more influence.
That's great. We should all give a round of applause to that intro right here for this, man. That was a great intro. Good intro for what we want to get started off. We're just real quick on a side note. So I'm over here driving to meet up with Roger, and then my sunroof's down. It's open. Nice sunny day. It feels amazing. And then boom, my back window shield breaks. I don't know if it was a rock or God trying to say, hey, slow down or something. But, now I got to get that fixed. So that's just a side note from left field. Just give everybody a little bit insight right now.
Yeah, I'm actually just off of work. So realistically, whenever I do have the time to, produce a video or episode, here I am. But let's go ahead and just cut to the chase, man. Anything you want to share with the audience about yourself?
To get started, I would feel like I'm a serial entrepreneur. No, I'm just playing, not a serial entrepreneur, but just an entrepreneur in general and trying to try different things that I feel like fit me. And this is just another thing that I feel like I had tried this back. I think I want to say, if I can remember the year, I want to say it was 2009 or 2010. Tried to do YouTube, and that was just me doing funny skits with my friend. And we at the time we were getting a good amount of views. I think we had released like maybe 7 different little videos of skits of like just making stuff up or whatever it was. I guess that was the thing that was in at the time. There's a bunch of like creators doing a bunch of skits, funny skits, and then that's when Vine popped off and everything like that. So this is kind of like, I want to say maybe second or third go around of like YouTube, trying to do YouTube or whatnot.
Yeah, no, definitely. It sounds like, you're just having no fun or able to get your feet wet with, because let's be honest, doing stuff alone, it's not for everybody. And it takes a lot to admit to yourself, like, man, I can't do this alone. I need to come up with a team, so we can all brainstorm what to do, the next, venture we're thinking about doing. Me, for example, I figured I watch a lot of podcasts. Let's make some podcasts. Let's bring some value into this world. What better way to do it with a couple of people who have the same kind of mentality as I do.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, what you were saying right there is real key, is realizing you can do it alone, but it's so hard to just do it alone. And it's so much easier and actually beneficial to do it with a team, because then it's not just your connections as an individual person, it's everybody's connections, everybody just kind of helping everybody out, instead of just like, if it's you by yourself, it's just like, you can only help yourself so much. So yeah, like you said, just doing it with the team is like the biggest concept that we should all take in. It's just like teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. It's like team. What is it? What is it? I say it all the time too. Teamwork makes the dream work. Like it's just a cliche thing to say, but it's literally perfect for every scenario. Teamwork makes the dream work for sure.
No, most definitely. I feel like we all bring different, pieces to this puzzle that we need to make this greater picture. For example, I think I'm more on the technical side. Like me and David have been talking for about a month prior to this about actually doing it. It's like, let's post. I'm like, hold on, bro, slow the brake.
Yeah, slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, we got planning, dude. Bunch of planning. Got to plan this, got to plan that, got to make sure this is right, got to make sure this is right. Because, honestly, we want to be able to make sure we bring out the best out of both of us as far as quality of work and content that we're able to produce.
The people we're trying to bring on and stuff like that. Like we're trying to have really good quality guests come on to the show to try to give you guys all the other details and secrets you guys need to try to get further in the career, trying to take, whether it's, trying to be a barber, you're trying to get into that, whether you want to go become a spray painter artist. There's so many different avenues that you guys are trying to pursue to make yourself happy. So if we can bring somebody on that's going to benefit you guys to help you through that journey of just helping you level up to the next level inside what you want to do. That's all like I really want to do, and I'm looking forward to helping people do that. How do you feel about that? Do you like the idea of us helping other people reach their goal like that?
Oh, most definitely. That's part of the whole reason why we decided to start this specific format podcast. I mean, on the back end, we have our sister channel, Open Discussions, and that's more of a laid back, talking about personal growth and whatnot.
I feel like that's the twin brother.
Twin brother?
Yeah, twin brother.
And they would both be blue.
No, because they can do like the evil twin and then the good twin kind of thing. You never seen that?
Oh,
let's just go back to what we said. The yin yang.
You don't like you don't like the sister channel.
No, it's just funny because it's like a girl. It's kind of like girly, because for us it's just we're guys. So like the sister channel. No, it does sound good though, but it's just funny because I like the way we referred to it before, like the yin and yang. Yeah, because it kind of is the way we set it up and everything like that. The yin and yang is kind of pretty dope.
Yeah, most definitely. Make sure you catch David and Jose on that one a lot more frequently.
Oh, yeah. Check it out. Well, it's going to be the same amount. We're probably going to post the same amount with, videos with both podcasts, get that going. And I feel like it's going to be a really good thing. Like, this is the thing that I realized that's real big and real key. It's like getting on camera is actually scary to do. And then to like be yourself and not be fake or anything like that. It's scary to do, to think that you're allowing other people to come into your life and who you are as a person. So just us taking this step is actually a step that a lot of other people are scared to take. So I just I think about that all the time. Like, yo, it feels good to say, hey, I'm doing it. And if somebody comments on it, it's like, well, you're not doing it. So you don't have the confidence I have to be able to do something like this. So I'm really not going to take your advice or your comment to heart, because you don't have the cojones to want to get over here and do the same thing, because it takes a lot to do that, honestly. Like you think about all these movie stars and stuff like that, they don't always want to be in the limelight. A lot of these people that are famous, they're like, oh, I wish I could just be a normal person. And right now we are just normal people. So it's so easy. You ever think about, what if you ever did get famous? You can't even just go to the store and somebody's like, hey, you're Roger. And you're just like, oh, I think here we go again. You ever think about that?
Not really. I don't really be thinking about me getting famous at all. I've been, probably be like Keanu Reeves, or just like low key as fuck.
Yeah, but he's hella famous. And Keanu Reeves is fire. I mean, Keanu Reeves is fire as heck.
Yeah, but nobody's chasing Keanu Reeves everywhere. He's not drawing attention to himself in public.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the Super goes in there and you're like, oh my God, Keanu Reeves. It's crazy.
That, and he's probably had to deal with a lot of things going on in his life mentally, so I would think that he wouldn't even want to be seen around doing anything, really.
No, I'm sure. I mean, but every now and then I see a video or a picture of just Keanu Reeves at a grocery store, hanging out, not dressing too flashy, just,
Yeah, I think that's like the good style. It's just like, have you seen it? Like a lot of these billionaires, they don't wear fancy clothes, designers, stuff like that. I feel like that's for the beginning of like rich or wealthy people. Like that, if you buy designer, that's probably like you're at the beginning of wealthy, because wealthy people, like we've seen, they don't really care too much about designer clothes, having the nicest brands, Nike, Adidas. They don't worry about that stuff. They're just like, give me a plain shirt, let's get to work. Or you see Jeff Bezos wearing suits all the time, stuff like that. Let's just get to work. Mark Zuckerberg, perfect example, just wearing some jeans and a shirt. Warren Buffett, always in a tux. Like these guys that are on another level of wealth, they're just like, that stuff's like irrelevant.
No, most definitely. But, I got a question for you. What are you hoping to gain out of this podcast experience?
I'm hoping to gain. It's actually a good question. I never thought about it like what I could gain. I was always thinking about what was the benefits of like doing it to help other people. But I think the biggest thing I can gain is just more confidence. Because like when you're speaking about things, instead of just keeping them in your head, you gain this confidence of like, not that you know, but you just start gaining this more confidence of yourself. Because instead of just thinking these things, you're actually letting them out. And like I said, just getting on camera, being able to do it, it's just like giving yourself another boost of confidence. Not like it's motivation, but just confidence in general. That's what I feel like I'm gaining from this whole thing. It's just a lot of confidence just to myself, the ability to do things. If you set your mind to go do it and you go and do it, it's crazy. It's really crazy to think about it that way. Like I think about it a lot where you're just like, oh, I want this to happen. And then like a month or two later, it starts happening or it happens. Or it's kind of like you said, like you just set the goal and then just boom, it just starts taking over. So I think it's just the confidence to say, hey, I'm actually able to do what I was thinking about or what I was saying I was going to do. So I'm going to be able to execute and make it happen. So what do you think are you planning to gain from this whole experience?
A lot of technical knowledge. Man, being the producer behind both podcasts, I'm definitely, learning a bunch of technical knowledge relates to video editing, producing, recording. That's got to be my biggest thing because, growing up, I was always taught to, hey, you're a guy, you got to learn how to do it for yourself. Do it for yourself, and no one's going to help you, blah, blah, blah. A little bit of that, it has been ingrained in me to the point where I'm just like, I could hire an editor, but I'm going to learn how to edit myself. Recording, I'm going to figure out how to do it myself. But the biggest thing for me is that whole production side of it where I get to learn how to do all this and that. So eventually I can help other people who are looking to get a platform of their own, help them build their own platform.
Okay, here, where would you say that idea stemmed from, or what can you think from back then that your first instances of doing what you just said, where you would you said, oh, I want to learn how to do this, or I want to do this, I'm going to just go do it myself. Can you remember something like middle school, freshman year of high school, like at some point in high school, maybe you said, oh, everybody else's parents is buying them a car, I'm going to go buy my own car without the help of my parents or whatever it is. What do you think? Can you remember an experience that was like very similar to like what you just said, where it was like the first instance of I'm about to just do it on my own kind of mentality?
I wouldn't want to go to a specific experience, but I do want to go ahead and touch base on that. Pretty much got rooted from like my family. My mom was like, girl, going to school. Better not let the school call me. You better do what you got to do in school so they don't call me, so I have to go up there. My dad, on the other hand, he was more of a handyman growing up. He does a lot of maintenance where he would take me on the job site with him. We'd go work, roofing, anything that has to do with housing, we'd do it. And he would always come into these situations where it was like, man, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Let's say, for example, he was putting up a door frame and it wasn't as big, or he didn't have the right measurements or whatever. A lot of that came from improvisation. So him having to be like, man, let me find somebody else to do it. No, he figured out a way to get the job done despite the obstacles that came across his way.
Learning to do it on the fly. What is it? Adaptation.
Yeah.
Adapting on the fly.
Yep. Adaptability. Yeah. My mom was the same way too, raising us, because, my mom had to raise me and my three other siblings. And it was always like, for her as a single mother, it was like, I'm going to figure it out on my own. I'm going to figure it out on my own. So a lot of those personality traits stem from both my parents in both different perspectives.
Oh, so who do you think you would mirror more after? Your mom or your dad? Let's just say, who do you think you'd mirror more after? Like, just, I guess, you as a person, not like your work mentality and whatnot.
that's a hard one to touch both of them because I do pull both. I pull different things for both of the individuals. So I can't really say.
I'm sorry. You kind of start maybe in the middle, 50-50.
Yeah, I'd say 50-50 for sure. Because, I mean, if my dad wasn't around, I felt like more towards my mom, but if it's vice versa, more towards my dad. But I think I pull a good balance of both of them. Funny enough, my mom hates how I look.
What, with the hair?
No, she hates how I look. My mother just despises how I look.
Like, what do you mean? Like your face?
Because I look like my dad.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. Like, oh, gosh, you just look just like your dad. You remind me of just like, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. That's funny. But she does, but she doesn't.
No, I mean, she's like, man, I hate looking at you. You look just like your dad.
But that's the best part.
Yeah, I guess. And it's just like,
That's why you got the same name? Or no?
no.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have the same first name. No.
No.
Okay. So if
You're
you,
not a junior. Are you a junior?
yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm a junior. That's probably why.
We're just at to start calling this guy junior.
Yeah, no,
That's JR.
It's funny. Somebody else at the gym. They call me that now. They're just like, "Yeah, what's up, Junior?" And it's just because he's a lot older, so he's like, "Yeah, you're like a little junior." That's funny. Hey, so if you ever had a son, would you ever think about naming him after you,
No.
or you don't like your name like that,
I would have named him after me.
or do you like your name though? You ever think about that?
I don't like my name.
You don't like. Okay, so if you could change, which you can, but if you could just change it right now in this very moment, what would you think that comes to mind? What would you change it to?
David. Nah,
That's
I'm not going to give you the name I used for Pizza Hut.
Oh, that's funny, bro. I'm telling you, that's why it's so funny bringing Greg on. I'm telling you, anytime I refer to somebody like that, or hey, can you give me a name for your order? Greg. Like every single time, bro. It's so funny. I do it every time. Greg or like Gregory or anything like that. I don't know why. That's like a go-to name for orders, anything like that. And that's your go-to name is David?
Oh,
Oh, okay. That's funny.
I'm trying to get into my Pizza Hut profile quickly.
Yeah, I'll just play. You know how many people actually, I wonder how many people actually give their real name when they make orders. Because like people always butch people's names. So they're probably just like, let me get a good name that they're always going to make sure that they never mess up.
Yeah. You know, one thing I learned about my name, though, one thing that taught me how to be resilient, man.
What, having Roger?
Yeah.
How, why?
I get a lot of slack for this.
Roger.
Roger.
That's funny though. That's good. I was like,
That's funny. That's funny for somebody who's not named Roger, but you're in it all the time in school. Ever since that song came out, just pound.
What song?
Pound.
What song?
That Nicki Minaj song.
Roger that. Oh yeah.
Just pounding after pounding. Oh, Roger, Roger, Roger. You know. Oh, like the one from American Dad. Roger Rabbit, Roger that. I don't happen, but you know.
No, I know. I get. What I'm saying is, I'm liking all the. I'm laughing at the names that they're coming up with and all these things. But I feel like that's the. I mean, that is. Would you consider that bullying or teasing?
I was just like, man, niggas are annoying.
No,
So,
yeah.
I mean, it was annoying, but it's not like something I killed myself over, you know?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is that bullying or teasing considered to you? Like, what would be the fine line for you on that, where it would be like, okay, enough is enough. Now you're not just messing with me. Now you're taking it to another level with the name.
But that's the thing, though, with my name, I wouldn't really consider it bullying or, I mean, I guess you can say teasing, and, you know, if you want to be technical about it, oh, you're teasing me. Nah, dude. But no, if anything, it just, you know, taught me to be like, man, just, you know, put these people aside. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best not to swear on this thing.
Yeah, it's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I mean, like, off camera, you know,
You just got
I'm like that one SpongeBob episode.
over and over and over. Oh, whenever he stubs his toe or something like that. That was funny, bro. See, look, I was about to do it right there. That's funny. There was this teacher back in, I believe it was like third grade. Her name was Miss Jackson. And at that time, Miss Jackson had came out by Outkast. I'm talking about all of us, even me. Hey, Miss Jackson. Ooh, all of us were doing it all the time. So I guess, yeah, I would say that's probably teasing because we weren't making fun of her. It was just like teasing her because her name is Miss Jackson.
Making fun, teasing, those are just synonyms, dog.
Yeah, no, they are. Yeah,
There's synonyms. I feel like saying teasing and making fun makes you feel less guilty about doing it, you know, from a perspective. Not you, but you.
Yeah,
not you, but you in general.
Yeah, the idea of it. I can get you on that to an extended.
You know, somebody takes it as bullying, you know, and then it's like, no, we were bullying. We're just teasing him. Like,
Well, I mean, put in like, okay, if we can, I feel like you can verbally, I mean, really differentiate what bullying is and what bullying isn't. Like, it's pretty. I feel like it's pretty simple with kids, especially like if they're really like pushing you, picking on you like that. That's what I would say. Yeah, they're literally bullying you. But if they're just making fun of your name or just playing around with your name, I feel like that is just teasing, and that's kind of just normal. Because like as kids, we don't, little kids, they don't really know better, so they're just gonna do it in general. Like,
okay, so let's touch on this: online bullying or online teasing. Because the term is obviously online bullying, but they're not touching you or anything like that. You know, they're just running their mouths to you.
yeah, I feel like that's.
Same thing as teasing.
I feel like that'd be you just being mentally weak. Because like it's just like a lot of these things that people are saying online. Yes, let's just say that they do hurt, but they're just only telling you that online. Like none of these people are gonna tell you that in person. Like if we're being realistic, they're not. Like how many people actually?
But most of the people also, some of the people that get mentally, they get online bullied are mostly kids. I mean, you know, when you grow up, you know, you look at it from a different scope. It's, oh, they're just, you know, talking, you know, mess.
Yeah,
They're just talking mess, whatever. You know, let me talk mess back.
yeah. Bullying to me is like when you're physically trying to hurt somebody or physically trying to do something to somebody. Because it never needs to get physical. You can like talk smack to people all you want, but it's just words. You know what I'm saying? Words are just words. Now, if you're getting in my face and you're really trying to hurt me, now that's when you're bullying and you're trying to like assault me. That's when it's another level to me of the differentiation. That's what I'm saying. Like online is literally just don't pay attention to it.
So cyberbullying isn't a thing.
No, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying you just gotta not pay attention to it.
But that's the thing. I mean, I'm saying there's people that actually pay attention. You know,
I would say disable your comments then. If comments are gonna affect you that much, maybe you should disable them.
no, I mean, I'm not talking about grown adults. I mean, grown adults.
No, I'm saying kids. No, I'm saying
kids.
No, I'm saying the same thing. If your kid's getting bullied a lot, then you should say, you know what, maybe I should disable their comments on any of their social media.
Yeah, but then that just makes it look like, you know, you're weak about it.
Maybe but you are though. If because you're, you know, you can't take it, so you might as well put it on, so you don't have to do it to yourself of reading these comments. Like if you're saying, if that's true, if your kid is getting bullied in that way of cyberbullying, then I would say, hey, maybe you should just, I would tell them, hey, maybe you should just disable your comments until you can take it. And then when you can take it and you realize that it's just words, then you can just undo it. And then whenever you mature enough to understand that they are just words, they're really not hurting you, then it's not that big of a deal. Because to me, words only hurt you if they hold weight. And to me, the only words that hold weight are going to be from your immediate family or your friends. Other than that, all these other people, their words, whatever they tell you, shouldn't hold any weight to you and who you think you are as a person. If they're saying, oh, you're fat or you're ugly or you're too short, you're too tall, whatever it is, like that's what they think of you. You should have a better distinction of what you think of yourself, to not be like, oh, I don't care what they say about me. And you should be that way. And that's how they should teach them, oh, you shouldn't care about none of that stuff. So if there is cyberbullying, then you should help your kid, whether they're 10, 12, 9 years old, say, hey, don't get on social media no more. If you can't handle what they're telling you, then don't get on it. And until you can handle it because you really want to be on social media, then there's no point in being on social media because you can't take it. I would literally, if DeLuca was like that, I would literally tell him like, hey, don't even get on it then. If you can't take what these kids are telling you, and these are just words and they're not like physically touching you, then you need to mentally get yourself together before you get back on social media and start taking whatever they're saying as real words and stuff like that. Now, constructive criticism is completely different as well, because a lot of the time it's all about how you tell somebody, not what you're saying. It's how you approach them with the content or the context of the whole situation and what it is, what you're really telling them. Because if I tell you, hey, Roger, you need to get in the gym, you're getting fat, it sounds bad. But if I say, hey, Rod, you know, maybe you need to just work out a little bit and you start having more confidence in yourself, you'd be like, oh, it's two different things like that. You see two different things. But if I say, oh, you get in the gym, you're getting fat, you're like already defensive. But if I say, oh, hey, you need to do it like this, then you're like, maybe you're right. I'll think about it a little bit. But it's just how you say it, not what you're saying. And it's always the tone too. So I think that's why I'm saying the cyberbullying is just, it's real, but it's really not real. That's all mental. Do you feel like that? Do you think cyberbullying is mental?
I feel like, I mean, it is to an extent. I'm going to put it to you this way. I mean, if it carries over from online to, real life, then, that's a whole different scenario too. But I'm not going to just call cyberbullying, oh no, you're just weak. I mean, I can see from both lenses, but it's up to that individual how they want to interpret that.
Yeah.
And I mean, who am I to tell somebody I don't know, hey, you need to toughen up, stop being a little P word, I mean, who am I to tell somebody that, if anything, it's up to that individual to find the courage of themselves to be like, all right, I need to do this for me. I need to, figure out a way to get myself out of the situation, whether it's doing X, Y, Z.
Well, as a kid, do you think they don't have that mental capacity yet to say, hey, I need to do this? So that's why you maybe just planting that little seed of, hey, quit being a P, then, that's all they need to be like, no, you're right. I don't need to be like that. I should be stronger.
But do you feel like this is stemming from you trying to instill masculine properties inside your son?
Not necessarily, because I feel like, no, because even my nephew would get picked on a lot, and I would consider the way he was getting picked on bullying for sure. Because now they're literally trying to harm him. They're waiting for him after school, all kinds of stuff like that. That's literally bullying. Now you're trying to really mess with somebody for no reason at all, if it's all just words. Like, you can call me ugly, fat, or whatever, all the worst things, but it's just words. And now when you want to take it to another level with inside the school system and start trying to wait for somebody after class, let's literally fight inside the school, all like fight at the bus stop. Like, that's, now you're taking it to another level where it's no longer just teasing and playing around. You're really bullying.
That's where it's pretty much an organized crime.
No, it literally is. That's what I'm saying. So now, and I tell him that all the time. I'm like, you're only getting in these situations because you're allowing their words to affect you. And that's why you're like, oh, if you want to fight, let's fight then. I want to do it now. When all you could do is say, hey, you know what? You want to fight me? Why are you even trying to fight me? What do you need to fight me for? What's the point? What is even the point? I'm like the person that's like, oh, let's not fight. Let's talk about why are you even trying to fight me? Are you just fighting me because you're upset and I'm making a point and you're upset that the only way that you can beat me in this whole situation is to actually fight me? Is that your only like going back and forth with this situation? So that's why when you say that, like, my nephews had to deal with that. So, and I tell them all the time, like, just don't even listen to these kids. None of these kids matter to you. Why are you even letting their words affect you? If we as your family don't think this about you, why do you care what they say? They're just some kids that don't even know who you are. Why do you let it affect you? And then it gets into these situations and stuff like that. So it's not really me trying to instill this masculinity in my son. It's just instilling the right properties for you as a person to say, hey, I don't need to let these words affect me. Whether you're a guy or a girl, I'm not going to let these words affect me because I know who I am as an individual. And that's why you just, like I'm saying, at that point of 10, 12, 13, you try to give them plant that little seed to say, hey, try to have that confidence and that mental capacity of the situation to not be like, I'm going to go fight back. Let's go fight for no reason. Let's maybe me get hurt or whatever the case may be. And then you end up in a situation of going to the hospital. Somebody has a gun. And nowadays all kinds of kids are bringing guns to school. So why even put yourself in that situation by letting words affect you? Because that's what happens. All those kids that bring the guns to the school, they're ready for something to happen because they know people keep picking on them, whatever the case may be. Why else bring the gun to school? Something's going on. Probably mentally, other than that, or they're just used to seeing that and they think it's normal, which is obviously really bad. So I would say it's not me trying to instill those masculine traits. It's just how I think it kind of should be, trying to just have more confidence in yourself to say, I'm not going to deal with that.
So if you're saying online bullying is real, I mean, they're obviously getting bullied online in order to bring a gun to school. That's obviously a real thing. We're not going to go ahead and deny the myth that, online bullying is real,
Oh, no, yeah.
It's most definitely real, for sure. I mean, if it affects them to do something in real life, like bring a gun, maybe set a fire, cause them to react physically to that individual, I mean, it's definitely real. It's unfortunate when kids are put into a position like that. And right before we finish this little talk about bullying, this should have been an intro video.
Yeah, it was. But this is like an intro video. This is how it would go. This is like just getting a little bit deeper side, like, of who we are. And then, when we bring somebody else on, that's when we're really diving into them. It isn't so much us.
Yeah. But to close out this whole little segue into bullying, everybody's on a different trajectory, man. I mean, people with weaker parents, they tend to get bullied a bit more.
Yeah. See, I heard this narrative. I don't know. I think I'm not for sure told Jose, but they said if your kid is just a little bit more aggressive in this next generation, which is our kids, they're just gonna run over everybody else because everybody's been being raised recently so weak-minded mentally and stuff that these kids that are just a little bit ahead of the curve than everybody else, they're just gonna run over them, and that's in a like a and not like a physical term, like they're gonna run over them. They're just gonna like just mentally be on another level than these other kids that are just like you just said, the weaker parents and stuff like that, teaching them, oh, don't do this, oh, don't do that. We don't need to fight. You need to learn how to protect yourself. But fighting and using it in different ways is not how we actually want things to happen. I was gonna ask you real quick too. Would you consider then comments on videos on social media, whether it's X, Instagram, even Snapchat, maybe, would any of those comments be cyberbullying, or is that all cyberbullying? Because in the comment section is what everybody goes to the videos for, right? Is the comment section, all the funny things that everybody says. Is that cyberbullying? Because a lot of that stuff that they say is hurtful and it's mean. But what's the line? What's the break even point on that? Just before we end this real quick.
As far as the comments go on videos and pictures, it just depends on where you put it out. If you put it out in a tight-knit community around you where it's just,
like a close friend.
Yeah, close friend. Like your friends and family or, the immediate people And when I say immediate, that can go anywhere from like your close family to the people you go to school with, whatnot. That, depending on who it is, could be bullying. But if you're putting it for the whole world to see, then it's commentary.
See, I guess it switches. I don't know. Maybe so. Because I guess these kids that were saying cyberbullying, they would post it on, I guess, their Facebook or Instagram, and they would just.
But the people but who do they really have on there?
People at their school.
The people at their school,
so-called friends or whatever. So then that's when you would just unfriend them and block them, and now you don't have to deal with cyberbullying theoretically. Well, then they would say, oh, you can't block you can though. If all these kids are messing with you online. Once you block them in person, online, they might not mess with you in person. And if they do, now it's going to another level.
No, it's most definitely. I just feel like, when people go through that, it's easier to talk about it in hindsight. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, way easier.
Let's put it that way. It's easier to talk about it in hindsight. But if you're going to talk about it in hindsight, you have to look at it from their perspective too, and not just be like, well, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. Put yourself in their shoes if you haven't worn their shoes already.
Yeah.
What can you do when you are currently in that situation? Because maybe they're not thinking about that kind of stuff, and it's unfortunate, the youth of today have to learn the lessons the people of the past have already learned.
Yeah. Or they could be wise and we tell them and they listen.
Yeah, just listen.
They might.
A good chunk of people don't listen. They're, Think about me. Hard-headed, stubborn, whatever you want to call it. Think about how many times your parents told you not to do something because this is going to happen.
And then you do it.
And you do it.
Yeah, you just do it.
But it isn't like, oh, I'm going to touch the fire because it's, they told me not to touch stove, and I'll go touch the stove. I think it's just one of those things that, people have to experience from one end of the coin.
No, maybe you're right. I guess to an extent. Like, see, for instance, just real quick, my dad, he grew up fighting all the time. He'd be one of those guys. Oh, if you want to fight me, we're gonna fight then. That was back then. Obviously, that was like, I don't know, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. And then so now, with me, I've never been in a fight my whole life. So it was like he never had to tell me don't get in a fight or don't get in trouble. I just was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get in a fight. There's no point to fight. I don't even see the point of fighting because I'm just like, I'm not gonna allow your words to hurt me. And if you allow my words to hurt you, then I know you're probably mentally weak as well because you can't take what I'm telling you. You can't take the truth. A lot of people can't take the truth. And I don't like to, if there was any bickering or situation, I don't like to just say random stuff. If I'm going to say something to you, I'm going to try to say the truth in any kind of scenario. So if I'm telling you the truth, you can't get mad at me. It's the truth if you want to get into the situation. But that's why I'm like, mentally, you're already getting weak. Because you're allowing my words that I'm saying about you to affect you. And that's already, I already won. Mentally, I already beat you. Now you're just trying to physically beat me because I already beat you mentally. And then that's how a lot of the situations would go. But I don't get into those situations. But I'll let you go ahead and segue.
No, It's funny that you talk about that because I'm looking at it from a different point. It's like, oh yeah, like those videos of the guys that are like, oh, you want to fight? Nah, I just shoot you with a gun.
And that's what a lot of people do nowadays, and they resort to that. And I'm just like, yes, why even get to that situation? Let's just avoid it all. Avoid all conflict. Let's just talk about it. Are you upset? Okay, let's just not even talk about it no more. Let's get away from this. I'm gonna go away from you. Like, to just fight somebody random is insane.
Yeah.
Like, completely random. Like, what'd you do that? Oh, okay, I'm about to fight. That's insane.
You stepped on my shoe?
You stepped on my shoe? Oh, heck. Bro, that was crazy. Back in the day, growing up in like middle school, if you stepped on somebody's shoe, that was a thing where it's like, yo, you're disrespecting me. We're gonna fight now. And it's like insane that we would even succumb to those kind of things at that time. Well, I never did, but just the idea, you always like, oh, let me make sure I'm not stepping on somebody's shoe.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of that had to do with rap culture.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's when they're talking about stepping on their shoes and shit.
Yeah.
Like watch, do what you do, but watch my shoes.
Oh man, that's
that webbing.
I don't even know.
That was webbing.
Bro, I never listened to Webby like that. All the early Webby, early Gucci man, that was not me. I was not into that. Not my avenue of stuff. I knew about it, but not wasn't like.
You look like you were a good music kind of kid.
Good music? Yeah, maybe. No, I was into everything. No, bro, you say that? My favorite rapper growing up was Eminem, and he's nowhere near good music, bro. I'm talking about. I look back, I listened to all his old stuff that I used to listen to back then, and I'm like, yo, he was saying so much wild stuff. And I didn't even know a lot of the stuff he was talking about, but it sounded good. So when I look back on him, I'm like, damn, he was saying so much crazy stuff back then, and now I don't understand it, and it actually is good. Yeah, it's been like that now for like 10, 15 minutes. I was gonna tell.
I thought I said it for like an hour, but it's only been about 35 minutes
or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, this is a good intro just because it's kind of like letting you guys know a little bit of who we are a little bit before we start bringing on guests and whatnot. And that's like this whole thing is just to let you guys in a little bit before we start bringing people on, so y'all can get to understand the vibes and what we're setting up here and what.
No, most definitely. If anything, it's just we bring different perspectives to every situation.
Yeah.
Asking different questions. I tend to look at things from multiple sides of view, where most people probably just look at it from one or 2 points of view. I try to get a well-rounded perspective on everything going on in life.
Yeah, I would try to play devil's advocate, but when you say that, you would probably say it. You look at it from both points of views and then an outside picture view. And for me, I'm just like, oh, let's just play devil's advocate. Let's just play both sides. And then you're like, let's get all three. Let's get both sides, and then look at it from this angle too. So yeah, that's good to think about because, like I said, I like a lot of the time I like to play devil's advocate just to like even it out a little bit. And you're just like, let's go further than that. Let's play devil's advocate, and then let's go a little bit further out to get a better grasp.
The funny thing about it is that I've been playing devil's advocate with you for a while.
Yeah.
And that's heck, how else are you supposed to keep the conversation going if you're not finding something to nitpick about?
No, that's good. Yeah, like it's actually good. Like I'm saying, give me a different perspective to think about. Because like if we all think that our way is the right way, then we're already screwing ourselves up.
Exactly.
We can't think that our way is the right way.
There's more than one way to cut a piece of the pie.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, that's a good expression. Yeah, it's gonna get cut regardless whether you cut it and make it triangle slices, or if you want to cut it in squares, you can cut it all however you want to cut it.
Also, definitely. And with that, we're gonna wrap up our first episode of Direct Discussions. I point at the logo, but
yeah, it's not there.
It's gone.
It'll pop up next time. It'll be there, guys. Just wait for it.
All right. Until next time, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Go ahead and show us the support. We're trying to grow this. Help everybody out, reach as many people. For the algorithm, of course. Yeah, tell us in the comments what we can work better on. We'll take the constructive criticism. Oh, most definitely. We need all of that action in the comments. We want the smoking.
Yeah. I'm okay with. Give me all the stuff. If you think I look fat or I'm ugly, tell me. I want the comments. Everything Roger needs to hit the gym, tell him. We'll take it all.
Hit the gym. This guy.
Hey, he owns his own gym. He's doing better than me, so I'll just play it. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
You see, that's gonna be a shirt. I'm just playing. Hey, keep it saucy.
Until next time.
See you guys later.